Hi, I'm Daniel, and today I'll be explaining the shell sort algorithm. What is shell sort? Shell sort is a generalization of the insertion sort. In this sorting algorithm, we compare elements that are distant apart rather than adjacent. We start by comparing elements that are at a certain distance apart. So if there are n elements, then we start with a value where the gap is less than n. In each pass, we keep reducing the value of the gap by 1 till we reach the last pass when gap is 1. In the last pass, shell sort is like insertion sort. Consider the following unsorted elements: 98, 19, 13, 60, 56, 14, 45, 82, 49, 37. We will be sorting them in descending order. There are a total of 10 elements, so we can write that n equals to 9. The array index starts from 0 and ends with 9. Now we will find a gap that is not greater than n, where gap equals to floor n over 2. Because there are 10 elements, we will use the number 10, which will give us the gap equals to 5. So for the first pass, the gap is 5. When the gap equals to 5, it means that if index 0 is considered as the first element, then the next element will be at index 0 plus 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it will be at index 5. And the third element will be at index 5 plus 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, there is no index here, so we will only have index 0 and index 5. Similarly, if index 0, 1 is the first, then the next element will be 5 after. So which would be element 6, index and element 6. And then the one after that will be the 11th one. However, there is also no 11th, so we will only have index 1 and 6. We then swap the elements if they are not in the correct position, such as this one and this one. Let's now sort these elements to see how shell sort works. Start from index 0 and mark element gap 5 apart. Since we are doing a descending order sort, the first compared element should be more than the next element gap 5 apart. Is 98, as highlighted here, more than 40? Yes. So we do not have to swap the elements and we can move on to the next group. Is 19 more than 45? No, it is not. So we have to swap the elements. And after swapping, then we move on to the next group of elements to get 5 apart. And we continue checking and swapping if when necessary until the end of the last array. Last index of the array. This means that we have completed pass 1 and it's time to move on to pass 2. For the next pass, we will reduce the gap using the formula here. New gap equals to floor gap over 2, where gap is the previous value of the pass before. So which is 5. And floor 2.5, it will then also be rounded down to 2 because it's the nearest integer below. So for pass 2, we have gap equals to 2. And we continue doing the same method as before, but to gap of 2 apart. When we have to swap the elements, we will have to go back to the pair before this and to ensure that the new element that was here is swapped or not. Since it is swapped again, we have to go back one more time until there is a yes, and then we can proceed. Now that that's the last, we can go to the next gap. Again, the gap is now changed to the value of the one before, which it was 2. And now the value is 1 for the next one. And we will continue until we have reached the last index. And now, as you can see, it is in a descending order. So this is now a sorted array. Thank you.